It has been alleged that the Attorney General's office knew and raised concerns in May 2020 that members of the public would be wrongly prosecuted over lockdown rules. Police, the CPS, the justice officials acknowledged last spring that there would be an error rate in COVID prosecutions when they started using the single justice procedure. This meant that magistrates would sit behind closed doors instead of open court to hold what they call mini-trials, and police officers would bring cases themselves instead of lawyers from the Crown Prosecution Service. Yeah, as if that was never going to be abused. Attorney General Suella Braverman is alleged to have raised concerns in May 2020, suggesting that lockdown breakers were best suited to be dealt with in open court. However, the Attorney General was said to have been put under pressure from the Crown Prosecution Service and police, despite the concern over the error rate. Griff Ferris, Legal and Policy Officer at campaign group Fair Trials, said, "People at the highest levels of government knew that the single justice procedure would result in wrongful prosecutions, and yet they went ahead with it anyway." He added, "They also acknowledged that prosecutions should be dealt with in open court to try and prevent this, but they still decided and used the closed court procedure. The public deserves better than this injustice, which was sanctioned by the Attorney General." The government has resisted growing calls in the wake of the Partygate scandal at Downing Street to review all COVID-19 fines and prosecutions against members of the public. More than £1.5 million in COVID fines have now been handed out in London alone, and Fair Trials fears as many as 25,000 people may have been wrongly fined or prosecuted across the country. Now, mainstream media is suggesting that anyone handed a Met police fine in the Partygate scandal and does not pay the penalty is likely to end up in the same court system, which we all know is not true, because these people will never face anything like the same court systems that we plebs do. The CPS has already approached Attorney General Mrs Braverman's office about using single policy procedure, favouring it over open court hearings, so that police forces themselves could prosecute cases. The numbers of people in court would be limited and its resources could be used elsewhere. Out of all the potential procedures laid out, single justice procedure was dubbed the least worst option in discussions between the National Police Chief Council, Crown Prosecution Service, Her Majesty's Courts and Tribunal Service and the Home Office. And it was suggested that the Director of Public Prosecutions, Max Hill QC, and then Chief Magistrate Emma Arbuthnot, now a High Court judge, could be enlisted to influence Braverman's decision. In other words, force the Attorney General to agree. An Attorney General spokesperson did not comment on the error rate concern, but said in a statement that Ms Braverman had agreed the single justice procedure was the best means to bring those who do not contest breaching coronavirus regulations to justice efficiently, alleviating pressure on the criminal justice system resulting from the pandemic. As you heard there, it was about people who did not contest the coronavirus regulation fines, which is why I said throughout anybody that received a fine should contest it. This would have put more pressure on the court and would have stopped these closed court proceedings, or at least helped to stop them. In February 2021, a note to Parliament from the Attorney General said single justice procedure error workshops had been held with officials from the police, the Crown Prosecution Service, Her Majesty's Courts and Tribunal Service to try and address the problems, and fresh guidance on the COVID-19 laws had been drawn up by the National Police Chief Council. A National Police Chief Council spokesperson said, "Single justice powers helps police forces to prosecute cases quickly and at a lower cost than formal court proceedings," and insisted robust processes are in place around the issuing of fines. "We work closely with criminal justice partners where unpaid notices are dealt with through the single justice procedure to understand common themes and share best practice, as well as routine dip sampling of cases at a force level. This procedure has improved considerably as the pandemic progressed, as criminal justice partners embedded best practice. Where mistakes are identified, fines have been rescinded where appropriate. If any individuals are concerned about their fine, they can raise the issue with the force which issued the fine within the payment period." Now, if you ask me, This was a trial run, as was, I believe, COVID pandemic lockdown rules was a trial run. This was to see if the normal justice route could be circumvented by police, giving the police more power. Ultimately, not just arresting people, as is their job, but making them basically judge, jury and executioner of any punishment. I, for one, won't be standing for that, seeing as we can't even trust the police to behave on the streets, never mind behind closed courtroom doors. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.